Thank you. Thank you very much. I have a short presentation, which I'm just trusting is going to be put up on the screen. While that happens, I just introduced myself. I'm from the academic community. I'm a marine ecologist, and we research oceans and fight the hideous heat waves, which are much worse than anything we'll see in the terrestrial environment. And I'm a humanist, thank you, sir. We measure modern slavery all over the world, and we had the great support of His Excellency Marcelo Sanchez almost 10 years ago to launch the Declaration Against Modern Slavery, which is the first ever, before a sense, of the great faith leaders of the world to declare modern slavery a crime against humanity. And since then, I've turned every energy I can to defeating what I think is a crisis to every organic being, and that is, of course, climate change. I see it as completely lethal. We have a very poor understanding, I think, of how dangerous it is, but one man, one great leader, gets it completely and also nails where the problem has been, which is the Latter Deum by His Holiness, where he fairly unsubtly takes you straight to the problem that the fossil fuel sector has glossed over this dramatically. It fights it. I think the first of the COPs, COP 1 to 27, were a complete joke, not nominating fossil fuel as the cause for global warming. And I'm just delighted that COP 28 did that, but we must now really embrace the fact that we as citizens of the world absolutely deserve a choice of energy. And I'm delighted, Antonio, with your legal deconstruction of the Latter Deums. Andres, I have to say to you, you're so completely correct. If I could give you a shortcut for something which can be achieved, I think anthropologically it's clinically insane we don't have a major carbon tax right now. That would address a lot of the concerns. The climate crisis, I just want to speak to you as an ecologist for a moment, is like a big J-curve. It's getting faster, quicker. You're at 1.5 degrees. Don't listen to the IPCC, please. It's a consensus forum of governments. Ever seen a government make a decision when there's three of them? Try a couple of hundred governments. Okay? That means they're not going to tell you you're in 1.5 right now. You're in dire straits. What bothers me most, ladies and gentlemen, isn't your ability to adapt to heat. You can be in a heat chamber where this glass of water will boil. With no humidity in it, you're going to live. Not for long, but you'll live. Put humidity in that chamber, you're going to die quickly. That's where your DNA advantage ceases. Humidity's rising very quickly. Every 1% rise, it's rising 7%. You're now living in a world with 10% more humid than your parents did. That's dangerous. I can tell you we don't have a choice about this. Humidity shuts down your ability to cool your body, period. That's it. The biological mathematical certainty that you're going to die in areas of high heat and humidity. It's a ratio, very high humidity, low heat, 31 to 35 degrees, you're going to die. Takes about 4 hours, very painful. Get both, it'll take quicker, very painful. So I'm seeing deaths, we monitor deaths all over India and China. This is a really serious problem. We have to approach it straight away. We have to go to the heart of it. I'm grateful for all the projects we're seeing. Everything helps. But we've got to go to the heart of the issue. It's fossil fuel. And it's consumers here not having a choice between clean energy and filthy energy. And I'm sick and tired of fossil fuel companies calling themselves energy companies, because they're not. They're just dirty fuel companies. I think if truth in advertising would fix that quickly. So let me just say I've written a short video which I showed to the bankers of the world in Arizona only about 10 days ago. I was lucky enough to be speaking straight after Jamie Dimon, perhaps the most influential banker in the world, and it made the other 1.5 days of speakers have to rewrite their speeches because they're basically caving into climate change, saying, well, you know, we've got to be practical, economic growth and all that rubbish. I've got to tell you, it's not. It's a matter of life or the alternative. And so I just want to put my finger on it. Fossil fuels are causing global warming. The science is irrefutable. We can run around beating up those who consume fossil fuel, but it's going to get you nowhere. What you need to do is say we've got to encourage everything which gets made to be made without fossil fuel, or the energy we consume to be made without fossil fuel. We don't want what has supported economic growth for 2 centuries to be their only legacy, which is destroying the planet. So I say we cannot allow fossil fuel. I apologise for my friends in the fossil fuel sector in the room, but you have to become energy companies, not just dirty fuel companies. I want us all, when we leave the Vatican, have a simple message, please. Please ask your governments, your companies, when are you going to stop burning fossil fuel? It's a simple question. When are you going to stop burning fossil fuel? And ask for the choice. I want dirty energy or green energy. If you don't care, have dirty, that's fine. But if you want green, you've got to demand for it. Otherwise, you're not going to get it. So I don't think consumers should be blamed. It's very easy to say you've got to cut back on your car trips, you've got to walk your kids to school for 5 miles, all the rest of it. Actually, you deserve to be able to drive your kids to school. What you don't deserve is to drive them to school and wipe out their future by having no other choice but fossil fuel. So green energy must be a choice. So I think you should trust a little what a person says, but totally what they do. I am a very large manufacturing heavy industry company. We burn 1 billion litres of diesel a year. By 2028, we've told the stock exchange 2030, got to have a bit of leeway, we will stop burning all fossil fuel completely. 0, 4 years, not 4 decades, 0. And thank you very much. And I want to get a little bit more passionate about this, because I'm not seeing chief executives around the world following this example. I'm not seeing you holding them to account. Yes, I appreciate these speeches, but I now want action. I want you to hold your chief executives to account. When you hear someone say, look, I just can't stop doing what we're doing. I'm going to have to leave it till 2035. We're going to have to leave it till 2030. You don't understand. We can't actually switch things off. Just say to them, you're right. You're right. You can't. Get on someone younger who can, right? Leave the stage. Leave the stage. All right? Okay. So I want to tell you about one company. This is Australia's 3rd largest taxpayer, started 20 years ago. It's also the highest performing shareholder return in Australia's stock exchange in decades. We're not a philanthropic group. We're here to show that going green is sustainable, that this is what the world must do, and this is what we are doing. We're a technology group which got into the world's most protected industry, export iron ore, monstered by 3 huge companies, we're now the 4th, through technology. Rapidly, sustainably, globally, we applied technology. So I just want to say, 2020, we locked our company in. We had a chairman, a chief executive, a group who said, right, we're going to stop burning fossil fuel through invention. 2022, we announced pathway to 0 pollution, not net. Net's a con. I won't get to that, we don't have enough time, but it's a con. We create real solutions. By 2030, ASX, we're on the hook here. We're going to switch off all diesel and gas. Just want to show you what that looks like, if I could. So thank you. I'm going to try and keep the time as quick as I can. We have 3 very large projects. You had a look at one. I want to show you 2 others, one in the global north, one in the global south. These are really big green solutions. Just make sure I'm going the right way here. We're decarbonising the mining industry, the shipping industry in that video you saw, the steel making industry I want to take you to. Heavy truck industry you saw, the rail industry you saw. These are interesting inventions. They use gravity and they use ammonia to have 0 emissions all over the world. In other words, all heavy industry. That means the cars you drive, what you make your houses out of, they can all go green. The best example is green iron. It's the biggest by weight product on Earth. The joint venture between us and China, we currently export as a country nearly 1 billion tonnes of iron ore. China consumes around 1.6 billion tonnes. So I'm talking practical measures here, ladies and gentlemen. Steel production, that's 8% of global carbon emissions. We're developing a bilateral development agreement to supply green iron. So Fortescue aims to not ship any more iron ore, but only to ship green iron, eliminating nearly quarter of a billion tonnes rather of carbon every year from what is currently being emitted into the atmosphere. It's simple. It's mining, renewable power, green hydrogen, which I'm a fairly big fan of, and green shipping. This has led to the fertilizer industry, absolutely key across Africa to food production, between a bilateral between us and Morocco, public-private partnership. We are joining forces with the state-owned OCP, world's largest fertilizer company, and it's quite simple: green energy infrastructure, upstream manufacturing, and R&D decarbonisation. So that, not to get too long-winded, but Europe needs green electrons, green hydrogen, green ammonia to go green, and green fertilizer. We intend to supply that. That is how Morocco has the highest solar and wind intensity in the world. It's right under the nose of Europe, yet it's a stable economy. It has easily enough power to produce 500 terawatts of energy each year. Just to let you know how big that is, that's the same as France and Germany, but 100% green. It could distribute that easily to Britain from that industrial corridor, Marseille to Lyon, to Italy, to Germany, to Netherlands, and the United Kingdom, pushing the world to go green. These are $100 billion projects. That's quite, I know that sounds like a huge number, but we've spent, invested, and borrowed that much in Australia already to build that company I showed you. Borrowed nearly $100 billion. Fortunately, we've paid it all back. This is rare. And we are empowering the greening of Morocco and Europe. So that's what I wanted to leave you with. Business and political excuses must be over. I want you to hold our feet to the fire. Demand the choice, green or dirty. It's up to us. I have 10 seconds left. Thank you.
Very good.